Today, we're going to tackle one of the greatest mysteries in the history of our planet. What really happened on the day the dinosaurs died? I mean, just think about it. For 170 million years, these creatures were the undisputed rulers of the Earth. Massive, powerful, everywhere. And then, in what's basically the blink of a geological eye, poof, they were gone. So the big question is, how did it all just end? Let's dive in. Okay, so first things first. Before we get to the fiery end, we really need to appreciate the world they built. I mean, this was a planet that belonged completely and totally to them. You know, even the name itself, dinosaur, is pretty intense, right? It actually comes from two Greek words, meaning terrible lizard. A British scientist named Richard Owen came up with it way back in 1841, and you can totally see why. Imagine being the first person to unearth these gigantic, terrifying bones. Yeah, terrible lizard pretty much nails it. And their reign wasn't just one long, continuous period. It spanned 3 huge eras. They started out kind of small and scrappy in the Triassic, back when all the continents were fused together into Pangaea. Then came the Jurassic. That's when they got huge. And finally, the Cretaceous period, which was like their golden age, just an explosion of all kinds of different species. And here's a wild fact to help you wrap your head around that timeline. Tyrannosaurus rex, you know, the king, he lived so late in the game that we, right now, are closer in time to the T-Rex than the T-Rex was to dinosaurs from the Jurassic period, like the Stegosaurus. Isn't that crazy? It just goes to show how long they were really around. All right, so now we get to it, the climax of the story. After millions upon millions of years of total dominance, their entire world was completely shattered in a single day. So what happened? An asteroid, a rock from space about 15 kilometers wide, that's the size of a mountain, was hurtling through the solar system. It was moving at a speed that's just hard to even imagine, about 150 times faster than a jet airliner. And it slammed right into Earth, right where Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula is today. The energy that this thing released is, well, it's staggering. We're talking 100 teratons of TNT. And what even is a teraton, you ask? It's 1 trillion tons. It's a number so big, our brains can't really even picture it. So let's try to put it another way. Picture the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Now picture 1 billion of them, all going off at the exact same time in the exact same place. That's the kind of force we're dealing with. The impact instantly triggered these unimaginable disasters. For starters, a tsunami. But this wasn't just any tsunami. We're talking about a wave that was 2 kilometers high. That's more than 4 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. Just a wall of water. And believe it or not, that was just the beginning. The heat flash was so intense, it literally cooked animals alive for thousands of kilometers in every direction. Global wildfires ignited. Shockwaves ripped around the entire planet. Massive earthquakes triggered volcanic eruptions everywhere. The key takeaway here is this wasn't some local event. From minute 1, this was a full-blown global catastrophe. But here's the crazy part. As horrific as that all was, that's not even what sealed the dinosaurs' fate. The deadliest effects, the real killer, were the things that came after, plunging the entire planet into a long, dark winter. It was a devastatingly simple chain reaction, like a set of cosmic dominoes. All that dust and soot from the impact was blasted into the atmosphere, creating this thick blanket that just blocked out the sun. For more than a year, the planet was dark and cold. So, without sunlight, the plants died. Step 1. Then, the herbivores that ate the plants starved. Step 2. And of course, once they were gone, the carnivores who hunted them starved too. The entire global food chain just collapsed, from the bottom all the way to the top. And it's so important to remember, the dinosaurs weren't the only ones. This was a mass extinction event. It wiped out 75%, 3/4 of all species on Earth, on land and the oceans, just gone. So who survived? Who were the lucky 25%? Well, it wasn't the biggest or the strongest. It was the small and adaptable. The creatures that made it were mostly under 25 kilograms. Think small, furry things like their early mammal ancestors. They could burrow underground and survive by scavenging on whatever was left, decaying plants, fungus, anything. But out of all that unparalleled destruction came an unprecedented opportunity. The death of the dinosaurs wasn't just an ending, it was also a brand new beginning. With the giant reptiles out of the picture, the surviving mammals came out of the shadows. The world was suddenly full of empty jobs, empty ecological niches, and they evolved rapidly to fill them. They diversified into the ancestors of horses, whales, bats, and eventually primates like us. But hold on, not all the dinosaurs vanished completely. One line of them survived, the flying ones. And over millions of years, they evolved into the birds we see today. It's an amazing fact, but it's absolutely true. The closest living relative of a mighty Tyrannosaurus rex is a chicken. So how do we know all this? Well, scientists found a smoking gun. All over the world, there's a thin layer of sediment in the rock, and it's full of an element called iridium. Now, iridium is really rare on Earth's surface, but it's super common in asteroids. And that layer of iridium, it dates to precisely 66 million years ago. It's like the asteroid left a fingerprint at the scene of the crime. And that brings this ancient story crashing right into our present day. The dinosaurs died from an external threat they could never see coming. But today, life on Earth faces a new kind of mass extinction event. Scientists call that asteroid impact the fifth great extinction. And many now believe we are living through the sixth, except this one isn't caused by a rock from space. It's caused by us. Things like pollution and deforestation are causing species to disappear at a rate somewhere between 100 and 1,000 times faster than normal. To put our own time on top into perspective, dinosaurs dominated this planet for 174 million years. Us, modern humans, we've been around for about 300,000. On a planetary timescale, we basically just got here. Which leads us to our final big question. The dinosaurs were taken out by a cosmic accident they could never have seen coming. We, on the other hand, are very aware of our impact. So, can we last as long as they did? Can we beat their incredible record? The answer to that will be determined by the choices all of us make, starting right now.